As the sun is starting to set, the footsteps fade um, down the alleyway where the man that you had just accosted is limping away, leaving you all in the back alley of the Drunken Octopus.
I don't know about the rest of you, but we should not let him get away.
Oh, I
Yeah.
wanted to stab him, but I got stopped from the stabbing, so
We
Well, now
can't
do following.
we can't stab him if he's dead, Panabon. Nobody asked about stabbing. We asked about following.
If we do not
Yes.
follow him, the only stabbing that will happen is to you.
I'm not going to get stabbed.
I guess we're following them then.
All right then.
Okay, so as you kind of peek out the alley, um, you do notice that this fellow is just kind of walking down the street, little bit of a limp as he's kind of moving. Um, how are you approaching this? Is this something where you're just gonna, as a group, kind of just into the street and follow, or is there some sort of subterfuge, stealth, sneaking?
If we need some distance, I could send Minya to follow him, and as long as I'm not too far, I'll always know where she is.
What is a minya?
Uh, she looks back and forth and is like, "Follow him, Minya," and drops the little trinket on the ground, and it starts to roll away down the alley, and like on its own free will, kind of.
That's pretty cool.
Be careful.
Yeah, it does roll, and it. Most of the people don't even notice it as they're walking along the street. It's a little bit dark, so it's harder to see anyway. As it kind of gets into the more lit up areas, and people do notice it, they kind of jump out of the way, and watch it skitter on down. The fellow, he's continuing on. He gets about 100 feet, just under 100 feet, which is kind of the tether limit of being able to kind of still interact and speak to Minya. Are you going to allow that to exceed, or are you continuing? Or are you going to have the group kind of come forward?
I don't want to lose sight of Minya, especially well, like at least within whatever that radius is that we're still figuring out, where we can connect. So I'm kind of having a conversation with Minya, and it probably looks to the people on the street that notice Minya, like this little kid dropped a toy that's rolling away, and she's chasing it. So I'm just like kind of keeping and darting through legs and stuff, and hoping that these new people who I'm hoping I can trust. I like the guy with the neat hat that smiled at me last time. So I'm hoping that they'll take care of me and keep up as I take off after Minya.
All right. So off you go. I'm going to say that's not very stealthy.
Well, I don't think I'm going for stealth. Like I'm little, so the crowd hides me a bit, but how I'm thinking of it, Danny, is like, so there's this guy, and then a ways away from him is Minya chasing him, and then a ways away from Minya is me following.
Right.
So I don't necessarily care if people in the crowd see me. I just don't want to get too close to this guy who fought these people.
Exactly. Okay, I get it.
And
And the rest of you?
since I know about Minya, basically what I want to do is I want to keep up with Minya, but from a side of the street, so I'm not with the group, that I'm slightly closer to uh, the person that I wish to stab. Um, but it's kind of just moving along the side of the street, so I'm not going to be in the center of the street. Like I'm not announcing myself. I would like to be more stealthy.
All right. Why don't you go ahead then and give me that stealth roll?
I can give you a stealth roll.
Give me a stealth roll.
Not stealthy at
All
all.
right. It's not.
Great.
That's not the most stealthy you've been. Just thinking about how stabbing was about to happen, and then you just didn't stab, and it's just kind of throwing you a little bit. Uh, who else? The two little people have now scooted out into the street after this fellow, leaving the big folk
Well,
still
I'm gonna
cowering.
be going
Yeah.
after the gnome. I'm gonna go after the smart gnome. Now, Panabon's also smart, different ways.
Yes.
And
But yeah, I'm keeping up.
seeing Locks take off, I'm gonna follow him. But before I do, I turn to Rosalia and I go, "You are injured. Do you mind?" Can't hear you.
I believe she's saying yes, please.
Yeah. So I want to take a look at her wound, and then I want to bandage her up. I'll use my feat of healing as well.
For a second, I thought like you're like, I'm gonna bandage her up. I use my feet.
No,
Okay,
no.
so you have the healer feat, which allows you to actually give people back hit points when you're using a healing kit, once per rest, I believe.
I was gonna say, but my volume cut off. I was gonna
Oh.
say it will heal. I was gonna say it will heal on its own.
But you are bleeding everywhere.
No, I have a salve that I use. It's Elven.
You do note that there's plenty of old scars and scratches actually as you're looking. It looks like she's been in more than a couple of fights in her lifetime.
I see blood.
I am
And
not.
if you are injured, you will slow us down.
I am not
And that is a
human,
liability.
and I do not use the same things that humans use. I will use my own salve to heal myself.
Very well. Your loss. I'll take off after Locks.
Ka-chonk, ka-chonk, ka-chonk.
Rosalia, I think that we're gonna not get anywhere with all of us following the same way. Why don't you and I take perhaps a different route? And if he's trying to go to perhaps the shadier side of town, maybe we head off in the opposite direction to get there. And maybe we'll find him after our new friends lose him.
I agree. I think we should track him where we think he will go, and try to get there before he does. That way, we have somebody in front, and then we have someone in the back, so we could cut him off either way.
That's
Judging
right.
by judging by the way that he was going, I think I know where we can find him.
We've been in Cadasta longer than the rest of these fellows, too, so we know a little bit more about this town.
He is heading north, and it appears that he would be either heading towards the North Warehouse District or the North Docks, which, of course, you're kind of in that area already, because the docks are actually, just the block down from the Drunken Octopus. So if the fella doesn't turn to the right, then he's not heading directly to the docks. But if he doesn't turn at all, it will be the Warehouse District.
A little character question. How
Mhm.
rare are elves to us? Like how odd
You
is
do
that?
not. You do not know. It's those ears. That's a birth deformity. Like that's how. What is an elf?
Well, she just said she was Elven.
Yes. So you're like, I don't know what that means.
Okay.
It would be like if today you were outside somewhere and someone came up and you were hanging out and then they're like, I'm Elvin, and you'd be like,
Ta. You funny.
right.
All right. Got it.
So, all right. So everyone's kind of following, or kind of trying to maneuver around. I imagine then that you're going to kind of pick up the pace, down like the side street for Perunia and Rosalia. Okay.
Yes. Which way? The warehouse? Do you think?
If I'm him, I'm leaving town, so I say we head to the docks.
Okay, let's go to the docks. We should lay a trap.
Yes, we'll watch the ships as they go out and see if he gets on one.
What
Or,
do his kind like to eat?
mm, well, he was in the bar with us, but didn't eat anything. At least
Hmm.
not that anyone mentioned. So, I mean, human, probably other bar food, but I think he knows that everyone is following him, so he's going to do his darndest to lose, I think, these guys, and then probably try to slip into either a caravan or a ship.
So we will find the nearest ship or caravan and hide.
Yes, then we can watch as they start to grab travelers and prevent him from leaving.
All right. Those of you who are following the gnome that is following Minya, that is following the man, uh, he does continue down the street for several hundred yards, and eventually you kind of can see the warehouses looming in the distance, just kind of silhouetted against the light of the city from behind, as all of the street lights are coming on. The sky kind of actually starts to glow a little bit with the reflection from the clouds above, and gives this sort of an ambient lighting around, very warm, sort of soft light that just kind of bathes the entire city. As you approach the warehouse district, he does kind of cut to the right, because there it does fork. So to get into the warehouse district, you kind of go right. Going left takes you behind it and maybe into some neighborhoods over there. Everyone is just at this point just kind of trying to just keep up and not lose him, I imagine. So, um, meanwhile,
I'd
over on
like
the dock side, oh,
I'd like to think I'm keeping up.
probably, yeah. I mean, he's not going really fast. You guys did a number on him, and then like you brought him back from the brink just enough, and then someone punched him in the face really hard. So he's aching. He's not.
How tall? How when you say warehouse district, like how tall are the buildings in the warehouse district? They probably vary, but like how tall are we
They're
talking?
definitely taller than the buildings around. So the buildings around are limited to about 2 stories. So maybe, most of them are single level. Some of them are 2 stories. The warehouses come up another story or half a story to a story above, um, all of those. So it's definitely it's wide open inside, so they can kind of stack things up. But they're not super huge. They're like, I would say they're the size of, like a small plane hangar. And when I say small plane, I mean like a prop plane.
Okay. I would like to start looking for a higher vantage point where I can still follow, but I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. I'm not getting any close to stabbing, so I'd like to start looking for like a higher vantage point. So maybe if I could start climbing up one of the buildings to get higher and higher, that'd be something ideal.
Sure, give me an investigation check. This is not very difficult, or high DC. So when I do my skill checks, I set DCs, and there's no natural 20 automatic success on a skill check. There's no automatic failure or 1 on a skill check either. So I'll set a DC, and if you make that DC, that's a success. That said, sometimes the DC will be 50, because you want to, I don't know, fly and you have no wings.
Well, I got a 14, so I don't know how that helps.
So you don't need to fly because you are able to quickly find uh, a set of barrels and crates that lead to the second level of a building. So you can kind of run along that roof, shimmy up a trellis, and then you're on the second level, and then you kind of can hop on top of one of the warehouses and get kind of that top down view of the guy as he is heading in the direction of the docks.
Oh, all right. Well, good. That makes me happy.
Yeah, you're up there. Meanwhile, so Rosalia and Perunia, as you've kind of come up, and just looking at the various boats, It's mostly quiet. You don't see any boats that are loading anybody up. It would be an awkward time to do so for most normal passenger boats. It's just so late in the evening. However, the if there's some sort of clandestine or sneak about uh, thing, then that could be going on. There could be like a smaller boat or something where people can kind of where someone who's doing the night's business would probably go for, and that's kind of what you're looking for. And so you're moving up. You're not seeing anything like that when maybe about 50 feet up, you see kind of movement from a side street, and you see your guy kind of like hobbling onto the street. Now you've been power walking uh, up until this point. So what are you? What's your response?
So I think the first thing that we were trying to do when we let this guy go was to find out where he would go so we could go really, interrogate those guys since we didn't get very far with this one. So I think that Rosalia and I will remain hidden unless he tries to leave town because I don't think that we're willing to follow him out of town, in which case we're not really willing to let him just go as far as she and I are concerned. So we'll remain in the shadows for now, I think.
Okay. So yeah, those who can see him, um, he actually kind of walks. He looks up and down the way, and he kind of hobbles over to the side of the water. Looks, takes a seat on one of the sort of stone structures that kind of are supporting the wall of the dock, and he just kind of sits and he slumps his shoulders over and big breath. And he looks like he's waiting. Minya communicates that back to you, Shay. As he stops, Minya kind of stops, kind of comes to a slow roll, and then boop, and then you just kind of get this sense of of he stopped, and you can look through Minya's eyes, of course. Of course, when you do that, you have no sense of what's around you in terms of your
Right.
vision and your hearing.
I don't want
So
to do that
um,
with where I am. Am I in push? No, I'm not. Okay.
you're good.
With where I am. So I tell Minya to um uh go into your sneaky mode. Make sure you hide in the shadows, but keep your eye on him. We're not far. And I'm gonna kind of look around me to see where my where Panabon and the four others are, because I just took off.
Yeah, and Lox is sort of power walking, and he sees her sort of stop and start looking around. Did you find him?
He's down that way, that alley. He slowed down. He's holding still right now.
Don't lose sight of him.
He
I
is
won't.
clearly leading us into a trap.
He wouldn't have been able to get them a message to them, would he? Maybe he's just about to tell them that we were on to him. I want to see who he's going to be telling that he failed his mission to. Can that really cool machine thing, Minya, I think you said? Uh,
It means little fighter.
oh, I like that. Anyway, can 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 it listen to their conversation or anything?
Yeah, I can even I kind of look around like it's a big secret, and I lean in and I go, I can hear and see through her, but then I can't see here. I can only put my consciousness in one place.
All right. Let's find a place where we're off the main street where you can do that. And I want to look around for that place.
Sure. There's several like alleys, or just during the day. There's a lot of just awnings that come out, and then right now it's mostly just furniture, like any goods that might have been set out during the day or have been pulled inside. But there's some furniture and stuff that you can hide behind. You can kind of duck in towards the warehouses. Um, at this point, Panabon, you would have to get across you think you could do it. There's an awning down, and then there's a couple of like light posts, and then the next awning to get you to the next uh, warehouse, which would then be abutted up against the dock, and then you could kind of get a better view there. But that is going to take a little bit of slick maneuvering to do so.
I feel good about my ability to maneuver. So I'm, what's the worst that could happen? I fall, right? So it'd be fine. I'm going to succeed. That's what's going to happen.
Okay, so what you're going to do then is you're going to give me that acrobatics roll.
I'll give you an acrobatics roll. Here goes my acrobatics roll. Okay, I'm going to fall to my death, apparently.
So you don't fall to your death. Instead, what you do is you roll again. Because Banani42, thank you very much, has granted inspiration to the next player roll. So you get that second chance.
Oh, thank you, Banani42.
That's better.
Yes.
So you managed to hop down onto the awning without ripping the fabric and just sliding all the way through, stabbing with your feet, if you will, and kind of use that momentum to sort of bounce forward on top of a light post. The way across the road is not that far, and you were able to jump from there, but not quite enough to just clear the whole thing. And you actually have to like reach out with your hands and grab the bar. And now you're just kind of swinging, and you need to get that next acrobatics roll to kind of follow through and get onto the next awning.
All right. Another acrobatics roll.
And you succeed. So you envisioned like, hop, 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 but instead it was hop, hop, swing, hop. You take what you can get. And
I had a good time.
Anyone who was watching wouldn't know that your plan was one thing and your execution was another. Why would they? I mean, obviously it went without a hitch.
Yes.
Okay. So now everybody's sort of positioned themselves and keeping an eye on this fellow who's just sitting there on this stone at the edge of the pier, like, I was gonna be amazing.
So-
I was gonna be an assassin that was gonna just like get everybody, and then I got stabbed by a clown. Clown stabbed me.
He's had a bad day.
So as he's sitting there, and Lux kind of directs me off to the side, I kind of close my eyes for a second and then kind of like wink open at him and go, "Please don't let me die." And then close my eyes again, and when they open, they're just pure white. And like her body kind of like, it's not slack, but there's just no movement as she transfers her consciousness into Minya and rolls a little bit closer and keeps to the shadows and the wall and listens into this guy.
And so, yeah, you have Minya move in closer. Your vision and your hearing are all Minya's now. Now, your sense of touch is still back in your body, and you could walk around if you wanted. You can't see or hear anything. That would be probably a foolish thing to do. But as you kind of roll a little bit closer, make a perception test for me.
All right.
And this will be with advantage. Thanks to Day Gamer, our friend Duryea.
Thanks,
Dury
Duryea.
with a yay.
All right, perception. That's skills. Oop. Wisdom. Okay, there we go.
All right. So, as Minya is sort of moving up, okay. You hear a sort of a click sound and and everybody who has eyes on the fellow sees him kind of go and start to turn. And then Minya hears that sound again, and a crossbow bolt hits him dead in the chest and knocks him over, and he goes splash into the water.
Well,
I look immediately where the crossbow bolt would have come from.
Okay. Make a perception test.
Oh, I'm so good at these. Not used to looking around.
Can I do the same from my vantage point? Try to see if I can tell.
No, you cannot
Too
do the
far away?
same from your vantage point. You
would
are.
I be able to, since Rosalia and I are in person?
You can make a yes. Rosalia and Perunia can make perception tests, and Panabon can make a perception test.
Oh, I'll do that. Let's see what happens.
Sorry to disappoint Decaf Pillow by
Nope.
keep those players rolling high. Nat 1.
So, Perunia, you think you see like a glint of a reflection off of steel, maybe a buckle or some sort of the reinforcement of the guard of a crossbow, maybe, or whatever, kind of up and beyond, maybe 20 feet from where the fellow was sitting. And just like that, it just kind of, it flashes. You get that sense of a reflection, and then it's gone, and you're kind of looking, and you don't see anything else.
I'm going to run towards it because this is the person that we followed him for, is for these guys. So I'm going to motion to Rosalia, or she can see me take off, but to where I saw the flash, and I'm going to go off after him or her.
Okay, so it is up. So whoever it is was up on like a rooftop, and you'll need to somehow climb up.
Scale the
Or
rooftop, and yes, I will.
yes, Panabon, you see Perunia kind of running and beelining in that direction. And
I will join you from where I am, already scaled up on some adjacent rooftop, is my guess.
yes. And what is going on with Minya and Shay right now?
I had tried to look, and I'm even shorter with Minya, so I can't see anything from where I am. But as soon as that guy goes, I'm gonna zap my consciousness back to me, and Minya's gonna start returning to me because there could be a fight.
When you come back, I have a magnifying glass on your eyeballs trying to figure out what just happened. I'm like inspecting you, getting a closer look. Is she okay? Is she breathing? Yeah.
Calm down. I'm sorry. He gets like that sometimes
She's
when he's
catatonic.
excited.
Hi. It's terrifying when something this much bigger than you is that much closer to you than expected. The guy died. Someone shot him with a crossbow. I think it was a thing that didn't have feathers, so that's not the arrow. It's the right.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
I had knowledge.
So, all right, we got to get there. Maybe there's some evidence that this person left. And so, can you guide us there?
Come on, let's go. And she's gonna kind of awkwardly sidestep Aegis because that was weird. And but she's gonna grab onto Lachlan's like two of his fingers because she's got her hands too small to hold his hand, and just kind of run across the street with him in tow.
Follow.
All right. What about Rosalia? She's obviously following after Perunia. Is she gonna also try to scale up, or is she gonna run along the street?
He's gonna scale up.
Okay. Let me get a acrobatics or athletics check from Rosalia. Perunia, you managed to kind of haul yourself up, actually quite sprightly for someone that is as big as you are.
5 Dragonborn, yes.
Yes.
Silent clap. Silent clap from Panabon. Silent clap.
Yep. Rosalia actually, as she's kind of stepping up, she just kind of puts her foot on one of the like a kind of a support, and it just breaks in half. This close to the sea, salty air, uh, stuff degrades faster, and it just snaps, and she just kind of slips and kind of just hits back to the ground. Um, Not, a little embarrassing if anyone saw that, but other than that, just slowing her down a little bit. Panabon, you catch up to Prunia. She's climbing up, and
I didn't roll very good perception, so
you did not see anything. So
I,
yeah, you're just kind of
I
rolling
did
up to
not see
Prunia.
anything.
Not just
Rolling up to Perunia, but a little bit a ways, just in case the crossbolt is aimed on Perunia now, because Perunia sticks out slightly more than I do.
fair point. I motioned for you to follow me because I'm not sure what you saw or didn't see.
Okay, then I'm following. That's good enough for me. I figure if there's I figure if someone's getting shot, that has to come from something. Unless there's now magic that can just throw stuff at you, which would be disconcerting. But assuming that's not a thing, yeah, moving forward into the great, wonderful rooftops of the beautiful city that we currently inhabit.
All right. So running forward, you keep moving kind of along the warehouse and just kind of keeping note for maybe a place where someone might have jumped down, or where, if you can see them in front of you, or anything like that. Rosalia can do another acrobatics check to get up on the roof with advantage.
The downside of rooftops, very little shadows to hide in. That's the one downside.
There's just less shadows than normal. Less little hidey holes and cubbies.
Also, the floor is the downside of a roof.
Oh,
Thanks for that.
hilarious. How
Anytime,
dare you?
anytime.
All right. While we're waiting on that roll, so go ahead and make another perception test for both Perunia and Panabon.
A better perception. It's still not enough, most likely. Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I'm so proud.
So yeah, as you're kind of running, you do see. You don't see the person, but you see the shadow. So it's that whole thing where you're looking down, and there's an alleyway that goes out, and there's a light, somewhere down that way that's shining kind of past, and you see that shadow of the person, just really long actually, as they're running, and the shadow gets shorter, and then eventually it's out of your sight.
Are they on
And
the ground, or are they also in the rooftop?
yeah, from the ground. So they were on the ground, running through an alley, kind of back towards the main part of the neighborhoods and cities, out of the warehouse district.
All
Is
right,
there
then
any
go ahead, Panabon.
is there any way to jump down and see if they entered a door potentially, or is it?
Oh, I was definitely about to somersault off this roof. I wasn't even going to question that. So yes, that's what I'm going to attempt to do.
Oh, you first. I believe in you.
Okay. It's pretty high up. It's pretty high up. So as you kind of jump, giving yourself that little bit of kind of bracing yourself for hitting the ground, and kind of doing a sort of I guess a little combat roll at the bottom, or what have you. You do kind of batter yourself a little bit, so that is going to be a total of 1d6. So I'll have you fall.
Was it a 6?
As it was a 6.
I'll take it. I'm continuing to run though. I'm gonna brush myself off and keep going. I'm into it.
Okay. So yeah, she just jumps off the roof. It's almost 30 feet, which
I respect
like
that.
is for a gnome is like a 60-foot.
That's exciting. What I'm actually going to do instead of doing that after having seen that and knowing that I don't want to be embarrassed is I'm actually going to continue watching and kind of running the line of this particular roof because unless this person is teleporting, they have to come out of somewhere unless they're going through a basement system. And then I'm going to get to explore basement tunnels. So they have to come out of the building at some point. Um, or I should be able to see them in the crowd, I would think, leaving the alley. I would think.
Yeah. So you're doing what now exactly? Because so this is someone running the opposite way. So you either have to kind of get down and go, or you're gonna have to go around, and find a way to kind of cross over back to the other side.
Uh, I guess I'm going to try to get down then, and hopefully I won't brain myself on the way down. Because my thought would be to do either I need to get down or I need to do reconnaissance to catch them coming out of the alleyway. So I guess getting down is the better action, probably. I'm going to get down, hopefully. Whee!
Not bad. Not bad. So
Here.
yep.
Ooh.
Boom.
Okay.
Way
Yeah.
better. See, it's always better when the players make their own rules. That's what I say.
Yep.
Because then I don't have to feel bad when it's low.
So when we screw ourselves, you mean? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Then I can laugh. If I roll for you and get like a 2, I'm like, oh. But all right. So, yeah. You had caught to the top just in time to see Perunia basically leap off, and then you see Panabon kind of looking around and starting to sort of climb down. I imagine Panabon is not leaping off, but rather climbing down.
No, it's kind of like what Batman does, except in reverse, where it's more like walking down the wall a little bit. If I can do that, if I'm that graceful, um, definitely, definitely just enjoying being alive.
All right.
Still,
So you try whatever you want. There's a DC that goes with everything. So the monk has an actual power that kind of lets them do that. And that's an actual class trait. So you can try that. It is going to be hard to do it without hurting yourself somewhat.
no, I just want to
if
get
you're just
down.
trying to go like full speed.
No, I don't want to be. I just want to get down to the ground without embarrassing myself. I don't need to be fancy. I'm looking for somebody that I want to stab. So I'd like to get down, and doesn't even need to be cool at this point. Just needs to be effective.
All right. Well, make an acrobatics roll. And Rosalia is kind of running forward as well, trying to get to that point to see like where everybody's going. And while you're doing that, back to Lox, Aegis, and Shaloon.
So Lox has this gnome that he just met holding his fingers instead of their hand, and so he's sort of guiding her, or she's guiding him really, to where they were. Do we reach where the guy was shot?
Yeah, if that's where you're heading, then that's exactly where you get.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. I assume there's maybe there's like people like somewhere around. Maybe there's stalls and stuff like that. As soon as we get to the point where it's going to be like an open clearing, I'm going to stop and try to look to see if I see anybody else besides my party.
So it's mostly quiet on the docks. There's a few people kind of, if you look, there might have been a couple of additional people that were maybe doing something, and then when the guy like got a crossbow bolt in his chest and fell in the water, some folks probably went inside real quick, like but it's already it's dark. The street lights are on. There's not a whole lot of foot traffic. Like the docks is like during the day everyone's loading and unloading, but during the night there's not really a reason to be there.
And I'm human. I can't see much from a distance either if it's dark, huh?
Right.
Well, I don't want to just rush out into the clearing because I know that someone got shot. So I kind of want to hug close to maybe like a stall or like a building or whatever, and kind of like just look at the situation without rushing towards where the guy got shot.
Yeah. Okay. So you're kind of still in the alleyway a little bit as Shay Loon is pulling Locks towards
I can roll
the
a horrible
stone.
stealth check if you like.
I mean, if you're trying to be sneaky, make a stealth check. If you're not
Yeah,
trying to be sneaky, then
I don't want to be, so that's disadvantage. Let's
yes.
do it.
It should be automatic because it should all be coded in properly.
Cool.
Also, Danny, I think my 19, my 24 should cover my acrobatics going down the wall.
Oh yeah, it does look cool.
Hey.
Panabon is able to they're able to like grab the various things and kind of swing and bounce down. It's just not a direct like I'm running down the wall. It's more of a I'm catching things and swinging and still looking very very circus performery like. You know,
Sweet.
someone could have seen that. That would have been really nice. But no one did. Peruna's looking the other way, and no one else is around.
Sometimes you just have to do things for yourself to make yourself look good on the inside.
That's right. So kind of approaching the side of the dock and looking down, you see there's that fella floating. His back is to the top, so he's face down in the water. Blood is well, it's too dark actually to see like how much blood is spreading, but
Is there a
imagine it
way to
is.
is there a way to get so in the area that she heard 2 shots, and I imagine Shayloon told the rest of us that, right? While we were running, or did you?
I pretty much said to you what I said to you. I was pretty panicked by both waking up to see Aegis and also seeing a guy get shot. So I did not mention
Okay.
2
So then
shots.
can I do a perception check just in this area just to see if there's anything that might have happened, cuz this is where it happened, right?
This is indeed where it happened, as they say in Hamilton.
That's
Make
not
that
how it
check.
goes.
Eight.
I mean, it's the dock at night. There's you catch like someone like peeking through a window, and then like when they notice you noticing them, the curtain shuts. Other than that, you can hear some people maybe on one of the boats, um, doing whatever they're doing, probably playing cards or what have you. There's just not a lot really going on here.
Right. Looks like we lost him.
I make my way close to you guys, but being super cautious about my surroundings. So did you say he fell off where he was sitting and then into the water?
Yeah, because he was sitting on a post right at the edge of the dock, and
Mhm.
so when and kind of like side like so facing down the dock, not facing the water. So his legs were he's just sitting there, and then whatever happened, he turned and then he got hit. You don't know if so Shay doesn't know if the first one hit him or not, but definitely the second one did, and down he went.
And then is it a far drop? Like is he like out of our reach to retrieve?
I mean, yeah, he's out of your reach to retrieve by like laying down and reaching your arm. Um,
We have to go down there and get him if we wanted.
you would have to like get in the water to get him, or find like a gaffing hook or something. Gaff
Do
hook,
that?
gaffing hook, something.
Can I
Yeah.
can I jump in the water and grab him?
You can jump in the water to get him.
I take my hat, put it on the ground, and jump in the water.
Okay. Lots jumps
I was
into
just about to do that myself.
with a splash. Lox jumps into the water and kind of paddles up to the fellow. Make an athletics check just to make sure you're not drowning at this point. Nothing hard. And yeah, so Lox paddles up to the fellow and kind of grabs a hold. And as you grab him, he kind of flips over, and you see that there is a second crossbow bolt that's in his right side. So that must have hit him and got his attention, and then he turned, and the next one just thumped him right back. It's the guy. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
if you want, you can get his tooth back, or
No. I think what I'm more interested in is seeing this crossbow bolt, making sure, like maybe, I don't know. There could be poison on it. It could be all kinds of manner of things. So I just want to examine that, bring his body up for my friend Aegis to look at.
And
Okay.
I will assist you in CSIing the body to find a direction, maybe where the bolt came from, and if we can maybe trace that to maybe where we would find the shooter.
Okay. So it takes a minute kind of looking around. Like it's up there, and it's not like you can, lift the body out of the water. You just sink, and so you're just kind of looking to see where maybe you can get out of the water. And there is, uh, kind of in the corners of where the docks kind of come out to meet the ships. There's a little set of stairs that kind of curve up and around at each point, so you can kind of swim over that direction. And because Julian, a 31410, has gifted a silver just now, we're gonna just go ahead and say that that happens no problem. You just like almost like your lifeguard train. You kind of like have him on his back, and even though he's dead, good thing he's not struggling. You kind of like wrap an arm around around his neck and chest, and then you just kind of swim on your back towards that area. Yeah, he's coming. Who's someone going down there to help him drag that body out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
All right.
Of course.
So you do. You get the body out, and now you're just kind of down there. Shayloon's kind of up above, looking down, wondering what the next thing that's going to be horrible.
I'm kind of looking from them to like all around to keep a watch and make sure nothing's gonna hopefully stab me, or shoot me. Uh, but also like I don't know how to be helpful, and I don't know where Panabon is, which makes me very nervous, more for other people than for me or Panabon. I don't like this.
All right.
Rosalia is able to make her way down and kind of start chasing as well. So we've got whoever's in front. We've got a Perunia. We've got 30 feet back or so. We've got a Panabon, and then maybe another 30 or 40 feet back, we have a Rosalia. Panabon, you are losing ground because little gnome legs. So eventually, Rosalia is going to overtake you. But
That's okay. I'm kind of looking for any doors or anything that might be sheltering someone trying to get out of the alley.
all right.
So
So as all of you are kind of running, go ahead and give me perception tests. But these are going to be with disadvantage because you're looking, but at the same time, in case the assailant hasn't stopped, you're also trying not to lose them. So you're kind of running pretty fast. Oh, that's good.
nope. I'm here to be pretty not perceptive, okay?
Bruni
All
is in
right.
it to win it.
Yeah,
You're in it.
she's
I'm so proud of you. You make me so happy.
she's definitely doing the damn thing as you're running kind of back into the market area. Perunia doesn't see anything. Panabon doesn't see anything. Perunia's fairly certain that she didn't see anything because there's not anything to see as she's passing the doorways and just kind of looking down alleys. And Panabon is mostly just focused on trying to catch up, which is difficult because they have little legs. And with that, Perunia kind of bursts into the marketplace. Now, the marketplace does have a lot going on. Actually, it kind of after dark, folks want to eat. They want to kind of do a few things, and so some of the vendors have closed up, but a lot of vendors are still kind of open for, especially for food, any sort of entertainment stuff. There's a few people actually doing some busking over like some juggling and what have you, and just kind of bursting out, and everyone kind of really close by all looks to see this dragonborn just into the thing full barrel and then stopping, and just don't see anyone running. You don't see much of anything.
Dostoevsky. I swear, in Dragonborn.
A few moments later, Rosalia and Panabon arrive kind of at the same time, being that Rosalia is caught up. So there, the three of you are, edge of the market. Don't really see anyone suspicious.
Not so bad, Panabon, with those short legs of yours. You kept up with me. Good job.
Thank you. I do what I can. I really wish I would have gotten to stab somebody, though. I'm a little bummed about that.
What do you think, Perunia? I do not see anything. We've come this
He,
far. We can't stop
he or
right now.
she seems like they were very skilled because I felt like I had my eye on them and suddenly they vanished. And I don't think I just missed it. I think that they are highly skilled, or perhaps it was something magical.
Could be magic. Magic
Now,
is what my people use.
did you notice what? Because I saw they got hit, and I think it was a crossbow. Did you notice definitively anything when they were getting hit?
It's definitely a crossbow based on the bolt, but I only saw the flash of the silver from either a belt or from a crossbow. I didn't get a look at even what kind of humanoid it was.
Hmm. Disconcerting. I prefer to be the one doing the stabbing, not have someone throwing crossbolts at me at times.
Also disconcerting that they killed him before truly knowing that they had failed the mission. Either they had other eyes on us, or simply from his demeanor, they were disappointed in him being disappointed in himself enough to assume that he failed. I mean,
They
they
don't
seem
want us
like
to
tough
know.
fellows.
I think they don't want us to know what he knows. I think whatever he knew was so powerful that they had to kill him before we could get to him.
Definitely trained, perhaps. Panabon, it seems like you might know something of assassins?
I mean, it's very possible. I have passing acquaintances with people that might do that kind of thing. The only way to know for sure is to see if there's anything on the crossbolts, because unless you have a body with some sort of marking, there's not really a way to know otherwise definitively. And you don't just want to walk into a guild of some kind and be like, "Hey, who's got a hit out on me?" No good's going to happen there.
That's a fair point. Perhaps we should return and inspect the bolt that were in the body.
Yes, and then I can stab the body a little bit. It's dead, but it'll make me feel better.
Whatever floats your boat, not judging.
Speaking
That's
of
good,
floating
thank
boats,
you.
over at the dock, we have Aegis and Lox are down, kind of examining this body. So go ahead. It's kind of unwieldy to get up out of the water, but you manage it. And how's this going?
So I will do a full examination. I'm looking for tattoos. One thing, the bolts are still in the body.
Yes.
So you guys see me just pull out a bolt. You notice that I'm not squeamish at all about a dead body. Like I even put my finger in the hole, just like totally desensitized to like anything to do with like gore. Aegis is a mortician.
I wish I was there.
I stand on the other side of
Oh,
Locks.
Say, he does this all the time. I'm not sure if he's
Sticks his
a
fingers in
doctor
corpses all the
or
time.
what, but he's pretty smart. You can trust him.
My family dealt with all things anatomical. So I'm looking for if there's poison on the bolts. Kind of like taking note of the trajectory. I want to see if he has any like markings on his body, like tattoos and stuff like that. Any items of jewelry that look like they're maybe placed a certain way, like maybe they're like a insignia or like I know sometimes in thieves' cant um rogues can wear certain things a certain way to like signify certain things. So I'm looking for specifics like that. I just fully working up the like CSI the entire body.
Okay. So for poison, we're gonna need your choice of alchemist or herbalism. Um, and when I give folks a choice to roll, different information comes from different things.
Mhm.
So if you choose one thing, the DC might be different. So like if there, let's say there was a poison on it, if it was a like a one based on herbalism, then herbalism will be the role you want to make, right? Because it's going to have a lower DC. If it's
Mhm.
a sort of a man-made toxin, then like with chemicals and stuff, then alchemist. But you don't know, so you're just going to kind of have to pick one, and then I'll give you the information.
I'll go with alchemy because he's a
Okay,
little bit more like future minded. So we'll go with alchemy.
sure.
I'll keep an eye on him too, but I'm trying to help and I don't know how, so I start prestidigitating Lox's cloak dry, like just like I'm not even touching him, but it's like picking it up and wringing itself out and like
Thanks.
So looking at the bolt, sniffing it a little bit at the end, pull out kind of a little couple things from a pouch, and you just kind of swirl it in there a little bit, see if any reactions or interactions happen. You don't think you don't think there's poison. If there is, it's beyond your ability to find and test for.
No poison, from what I can tell. What about markings?
So are you just kind of like pulling the sleeve up where you can, or are you gonna
Mm-hmm. Sleeve.
undress the
If
fellow?
his like chest is easily like exposed, I'll take a look at it. I'm not being gentle either. I'm just kind of like pulling stuff up and yeah.
Okay. Um, you do find a you find several tattoos. Actually, you find tattoos that you kind of recognize just on people. Roses and what have you. Give
Skulls and
me an
crossbones and teardrops
Yeah,
and
but do give me an insight check as you're kind of going through the
sure.
various things. Uh,
Go.
Ooh.
there is one tattoo that sort of stands out. The style is different from a lot of the other art. It also seems to be uh, not prominently placed, but in a spot where it feels like it's an important sort of spot. So it's not like on the shoulder where everyone can see, but it's one of those sort of like kind of on the side, out of the way. But if someone's maybe intimate with the person, uh, they that would be a prominent location for the tattoo, or it's also in an easy spot to quickly like reveal it and then put it away, right? So like it's kind of above the left hip. Um, so
I
uh,
will take out some sort of paper and I will try to roughly sketch what it is, and I notate that it's on the hip.
okie doke. Yeah, so it looks like a snake, um, just kind of this curving sort of. It's it's not a well done snake. It looks really smudged and darkened. Um, like maybe someone was intoxicated while they were applying the tattoo. Uh, and then underneath it, there's a line that kind of like goes down, back, and down again. That kind of follows the contours of the snake. Just a single line of underneath that snake that seems to signify something, but you're not sure what.
And then based on how I wait, did I see the way I didn't even see the way he was sitting. Never mind, forget that. Because it was all through Minia, right?
Hmm.
Um, would I happen to have maybe make a medical check to see if I like accidentally noticed anything about him, like uh I don't know, any type of like deformities, or like maybe he had some sort of weird rash, or um evidence
yeah.
of like maybe like if he works a certain thing, like if he doesn't say he like works with his hands a lot, then I notice that there's like nicks on his hands or like cuts, stuff like that.
Yeah, go
I'll
ahead.
make a medical check. Jeez.
You, I mean, where you can see, there's definitely scars and the like. Obviously, this person has lived a life of rolling up on people to do bad things to them for quite some time. And when you're in that line of work, sometimes you get stabbed and survive. So that's about what you get.
Scars.
And Panabon, it looks like he knows all about that.
Yes, Panabon is.
Oh, you.
You seem to be taking some notes there. Find something interesting?
Yes. The most notable thing is a tattoo above his hip. I don't know what it is. He looks like he lives a rough life, lots of scars. The arrow was not poisoned, as far as I can tell. Looks like he may possibly have some syndicate ties. But in this new land, I don't know what that means. Perhaps there's somebody we can ask.
The only person I know who even seemed to have a reaction when he spoke that mumbo jumbo earlier was Panabon. So maybe they can tell us more about that tattoo. Or maybe there's someone in town who can help us. Though, but at least we got something. So this wasn't a loss in my
I
book.
turn to Shay and I say, I will leave the questioning to you. I will feed you the information, and you ask them what they know, because I do not want a headache again.
Shay kind of nods, like excited to help a little bit, but intimidated by Aegis. But then, as soon as he references a headache of Panabon, she kind of, I understand. I'll do what I can.
I'm a delight. I don't know what all
As
the headache is about. I'm delightful.
so, all right. As this is kind of being decided, you hear the steps of, unless they're trying to be super stealthy, of Panabon and Perunia and Rosalia returning to the dock. You see Shay kind of standing in one of the little dock stairwells that leads down to the water. So you kind of see the top of her head, and you know where to go. And there they are, dead body. There's a bolt on the ground.
I go over to the bolt and I pick it up immediately. I want to examine that bolt without even saying hello to anyone. Being
I'm glad
incredibly
you're
rude.
all right. And she kind of scowls at Panabon.
Yeah, it just pushes down and like grabs the bolt and it's like,
I'm so annoyed. We lost whoever it was. So annoyed. Is this the bolt? Was this in the body? Somebody pulled this out? Thank you to whoever pulled this out.
You might notice blood on my glove.
Oh, that was you. Thank you.
yeah, an investigation
I
test or any
do
test that you that you think would work for this. So
investigate that bolt?
yeah, it's
Oh.
a crossbow bolt. It's well made.
Well,
You
well
could
made.
like well made enough that you could probably still shoot it again. It would go straight.
Oh, well, I mean,
You know,
I like crossbow bolts. I don't have a crossbow, but you never know when you could use one of these. Frame somebody. Be good.
you can always hold it and stab.
Yeah. Oh, I could do that. That's fun and exciting. Okay, now having done that, I'm just going to look around and go, hello, everyone. What'd I miss?
I kind of nudge. Well, I'm very tall. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I kind of nudge Shay with my knee at that height. I'm tall, so and then
Amazing.
I put my notes at sight of her eyes that talk about the tattoo and all of that.
So does anybody she takes his cue and holds the paper and does anybody recognize the tattoo on his hip? And she points because she won't touch him.
I'll pull it up.
So you're pulling the shirt
Yeah.
up to reveal the tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
All right. history checks for anyone who's trying to figure this out.
Depending on the type of history, I might have advantage. Anything that's related to, let me double check it real quick.
Ooh.
Um,
Wow.
alchemy
Where
or
was that roll? That's the roll I needed.
um, or technology or magic.
Nope.
Okay.
All right. So, it means nothing at all to Perunia. Um, Aegis and Shaylun, I mean, it's about what Aegis figures. It's some sort of maybe syndicate related, something to do with that. It's very much like, yeah, this has something to do with something. Panabon, something about it like tickles at the back of their brain. Um, and really trying to sort of think about it. Uh, they're not sure, but the line underneath, something about the line underneath, uh, is kind of it's like it's trying to say something to you, but you just can't quite hear it.
I'm
But
making that squinty face that is the universal symbol for there's something familiar about it, but I can't really tell what it is.
right.
Not a pretty face, but
I when I see it and can make the same connection Aegis did, I look at him and go, it might be a gang.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Obviously.
Like,
Like hides a laugh because like I was like, oh boy.
From my bag that's already open, I take out a bag, open it up, take off one of my gloves. The bloody one is holding the bag. I start eating nuts. I start stress eating nuts and walking back and forth.
And then what else was on the paper? It was the tattoo, the poison, or
The
lack
lines
thereof.
underneath, the zigzagging
yeah.
lines.
Well, I sketched the symbol, but we're looking at it down there.
Yeah.
No poison. He looks got a lot of scars. Looks like he's been through a rough time. That's pretty much what I got.
All right. So I read it to him like I'm like reading a paper to the class. So other than the tattoo, he also is heavily scarred as though he has been in many fights throughout his life. And also, the crossbow bolts are suspected to have no poison, or at least none known to myself. And myself means Aegis.
Good job.
Thanks.
Very good.
All right. So it looks like we're not going to get much else from this guy here tonight. But it maybe syndicate ties, I think was the thing you said, Aegis.
Possibly.
Should we try to track down who shot him? Does anybody see anything?
So I saw perhaps the most. I saw the glint coming off of the crossbow, and I pursued it as much as I could. And when we got to the marketplace, he or she just disappeared. I feel like we are dealing with some kind of assassin society or something. This person was very well trained, and was able to either use magic or use very advanced skill set to just leave the crowd, because I was paying very close attention and I had almost caught up to him and her when they just vanished. I feel as though we're not going to get very far unless, as Panabon suggested, we walk into a guild and say who's got a hit out on them. Probably not.
no, my suggestion was to not do that. My suggestion was that would be a bad idea.
Oh.
So Panabon, may I ask
Oh.
one thing? Why would
can
people
ask
be trying to
anything
murder you? Beyond, like, who here would be trying to murder you?
Beyond the usual people, unusual people. I seem to be a very catalytic figure. People seem to really enjoy me, or they don't seem to enjoy me at all. I don't know what that's all about. I'm a delightful person.
Got it.
You see a very dark look cross Shay's face.
Peruvian's
just-
also like, mm.
And you
feel
hear it, and
like-
it says, "Son,
So that could be anyone after Panabon, but the most recent is, and I look at Perunia and go, might be from Arturis.
Mm.
And she looks around the dock and goes, maybe we should not talk about it here.
I agree. Have you guys found lodging yet in the village?
No, we were just grabbing our first drinks, so we still need to find that place. But the place we were drinking at earlier tonight doesn't seem that bad.
Drunken Octopus is Rosalia and I's favorite place.
What is an octopus? That little weird thing with the arms?
A sea monster, apparently.
Okay.
So, do you know the people that run the Drunken Octopus? Would they potentially, potentially know about things like
I mean,
symbols beneath snakes?
Oh, I don't think they're involved in that much of the seedy side of the city, or at least not guild related as far as I know, but they very much keep an ear out for any kind of news. And the bartender is a good friend of mine, so I'm happy to at least ask.
Yes.
But they're
I just
safe.
wanna
We'd
make
be, we'd be safe there.
I just want to make sure that we're not telling everybody about this syndicate. That's just going to draw a bigger target on our backs. Just
Oh,
It's already
good
pretty
point.
big, though.
Yeah, but if you stop stabbing people, it would perhaps at least stay the same size, if not get a bit smaller.
Look, you like reading, I like stabbing. You know, people have to live their lives.
Yeah, they do need to live their lives without getting stabbed to death. That's what I keep trying to tell you.
right, you two, we can argue about this later. Let's get back to this place and sort of talk about this like tourists, you say it. And he whispers that I've learned. It's a whisper.
Be careful if you say Arturis's name 3 times while you're at the docks. He appears. What?
Panabon, do you think we're safe with? And she kind of looks around sheepishly at everyone.
I mean, we're as safe as we're gonna be. No one's tried to stab me here yet, and believe me, people have reason to want to stab me. So I feel good. I feel good times. I feel like nothing worse is going to happen than the things that have currently happened to us. So,
All right.
All right.
Can I look around and see if there's anybody watching?
Always.
Perception?
Perception.
I always feel like there's someone watching me.
There is kind of people that are curious in their little houses or whatever the buildings are they're at here next to the docks. They are, there's some people kind of looking, but not anything that feels suspicious. Just mostly curious. You're an odd group, and people are kind of wondering what you're doing. The folks who are in the houses, obviously, some of them probably know that somebody got murdered here. But other people that are kind of walking that are kind of moving through every once in a while, just every couple minutes, maybe like a person or two will kind of stumble through, and they just kind of look and what are these folks doing? But nothing that raises any red flags.
I mean, we're just disconcerting because we're definitely standing here over a dead body. So,
Well, it's down at least, so
okay.
You want to kick it back into the water?
That's right. We did drag this body.
Yeah.
Maybe we should tell the police.
Oh no.
Perunia says, "Oh, not in this city. No."
No, that's a no from me. Do you remember what happened last time you talked to authorities? Little
She kind of
hints.
looks down and fearful because if you can't trust the police, who can you trust?
You can trust
Uh,
us.
Yourselves.
Poor Shay.
yeah.
She's learning about the world.
A way to learn. It's like the anti Mr. Rogers.
Um, so, barring anything else that anyone wants to do, I presume then you head back to the drunken octopus.
Well, you do push it back in the water.
Okay, he just is like just boop, splash.
A really big fish. That's all it is.
Yes.
Big fish.
Yes.
And if anybody's
Nothing-
if anyone's close enough to hear, I just say guild business, guild business. As I walk on.
Okay. And off you go back to the drunken octopus, and we'll find out what happens when they return to the drunken octopus after our break. 10-minute break right here,
Ooh.
right now, and we will see everybody on the other side. Yeah. Hey, welcome back, everybody. So, before our break here, there were some shenanigans that kind of went along with our assailant from the first session. The crew followed him to the docks, where he apparently was waiting maybe to meet with somebody or what have you. But apparently they didn't really feel like talking to him, whether they already knew he failed or it was someone else, who knows. But they put two in his chest and down into the drink he went. Um, Perunia thought she saw something, and so she went on a chase along with Rosalia and Panabon, while Aegis and Lox went to check on the corpse and see if they could discern any information from that. The chase was a bust. Eventually, the person who did the shooting escaped into the market, and at the scene of the crime, if you will, they determined that this individual must be part of some sort of syndicate, criminal group, but that but they don't have inns here. They don't really know who that would be. So they decided to go back to the inn, maybe sleep on it, maybe talk about it a little bit in the common room, maybe ask the bartender or the staff what they know. But that's where they're headed now. And as they step into the inn, um, the bartender Keej kind of looks up and sees it, and then he kind of does this, like looks at Prunia and then kind of does this.
I follow him.
Um, so he doesn't go anywhere. He just kind of at the bar. He just kind of goes to the edge of the bar. What did you do to that man when you left?
Well, it was more like he tried to stab Rosalia, and she didn't like that very much, and so we stabbed back. But then we brought him back to somewhat of a stable health, and then he said something in what I believe I was told was thieves can't. And we let him go. We followed him though, trying to see what was he about because we couldn't get any information from him. And then somebody put two crossbow bolts in his chest at the docks, and we don't know who.
You,
Very curious.
sometime after you chased him out of the common room, the um, a couple of the Ishan guards uh, came in and were asking. Uh, they said that a man had been killed out front, and that witnesses said that it was that he had run from my establishment, which is true, and was killed by others that had run out from my establishment, which is not true because he's not. But he is.
That's right. We did not kill him, not in front of your establishment, and then we let him go and he walked away from your establishment. So that much we can attest to.
I did mention that the victim in this case was actually an assailant who erred and was trying to escape. Um,
Correct on that account as well.
they did ask if I expected that you would return. I did say that maybe, and they said to if I see you again to let you know that they want to speak to you and anyone else who was involved. Um, m- Maybe in the morning, or
Yeah,
or not.
well, I appreciate you letting us know. I don't know if I'm super excited to go talk to the guards. I don't want to be falsely accused of something that we didn't do. So maybe, I mean, what would you suggest if we got lodgings here tonight? Might be a little visible, but how do you feel comfortable with that?
I don't presume they'll return before the morning. Uh, that said, I live here, so just prefer not to have to lie directly to the authorities. Um,
I wouldn't put
yeah,
you in that position. So I
yeah.
think that we'll, of course, get a drink to go, maybe. I think that would be best. But I will come in and check in on you and see how you're doing tomorrow
Mm,
sometime.
certainly. So then I will say that you return shortly, and then left. If that's what happens,
Feel free to tell them our story that he did walk away alive and fairly well.
I will pass on what you said. Um, uh, Very good. So what would you like? The tavern is about half empty at this point. It's not so late that people are not. It's not those wee hours where there's like just the one guy in the corner, staring at everybody with his drunken eye. Um, a few people are still eating a meal. It's early enough for like the last people that are eating dinner are there. Um, uh, should I bring something?
Strong drinks are always appreciated, friend.
Very well. And then he
I
goes
put
to
down
prepare those.
the cost for 5 strong drinks on the bar.
Okay. Yeah. So he heads back to kind of get that all set up for you.
In
I
the
imagine
background, you
everybody is.
hear. As I sit down somewhere.
Deja vu.
We'll go to the table and explain to the group our conversation and that we do not want to get lodgings here tonight, and we're going to have to find another place to stay.
Is that?
Well, it seems that our presence was noted by guards, and they think we killed that fella. So
Well,
we.
technically,
Oh, okay, but I said, and I didn't get too specifics, but I said he walked away from here from his own volition. So that's a true story.
And that is very true. I
who
agree.
who who was asking about us?
The Vaishan guards is what the bartender said.
Here to
Oh,
say,
that's
everywhere
fun.
we go, we run.
We are not running. We are merely going to get lodgings elsewhere. We didn't do anything illegal. They just wanted to talk to us. He could tell us our story. We'll be fine.
Talk.
Well, we're not going to stay to find out. Let's put it that way, Panabon.
uh, well,
Where will we go? Do we need to leave Vishan?
There is a caravan we could hire ourselves out to that he was telling me about. He said that was getting ready to leave in a couple days. After we finish our drink, we could get contact for that job, and we could decide to get out of town at least until it cools down a little while.
But something. So I haven't told all of you guys. I did tell Aegis, but something feels like we're supposed to be trying to figure this out, right? Like we've all come together here under very different circumstances. We've fought an assassin and then that guy was assassinated. There's something going on here, and I don't really want to get out of town yet until we figure out what's going on.
Well, the caravan jobs that we've gone on, Rosalie and myself, they're usually only a week or two and they come back, right? We're just doing some escort. Like, we can
Plus,
make the decision. Yeah.
if we're being followed, they'd probably follow us in the caravan anyways and try to stab us in our sleep. So it's not like they're not going to
point.
follow us.
Panabon, that's not helpful.
But is it inaccurate? I mean, let's be honest.
New people that we met tonight. I appreciate your help, but it's either the assassin was coming for Panabon or me or both, and we've been on the run for a while now, and it's. I mean, as much as we appreciate tonight, we aren't your responsibilities, and I don't want to put anyone else in danger. Then
That settles it. Let's go, Mr. Locks.
Hold up there, Aegis. Look, Miss Shay. I'm not asking to help you because I'm trying to be some do-gooder. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on in my life. This magic stuff, and I know Rosalia, is that correct? You're used to this. Where I'm from, this is strange. And the world seems to be going upside down, and there's a reason to it. I just want to know a little bit more about why. And I've got a
Magic.
feeling that keeping you safe is part of that.
Magic has been in my life for a while now, and it's wonderful, but there's also a very, very dark side, and I'm afraid that Panabon and I have gotten wrapped up into it a bit.
Well, we get unwrapped then. And I'll do what I can. It just, something's telling me I got to. Sorry, Aegis.
I nod along to that and I say, little one, I hate bullies. And it seems like whoever this, whether it was Arturus or someone else that's got it in for you and Panabon, and that doesn't sit well with me. I might not have always been able to defend those I've come across or cared about, but I think I can help defend you too.
Okay.
She's like awkward to accept help, but he's like, okay.
Look, I don't want to get stabbed. You don't want to get stabbed. Nobody wants to get stabbed. I want to stab people, but I don't want to be stabbed. Here, as far as I can see it, something is going on. We don't know what. We don't know why. We don't know who. That's okay. Here's my plan. Wherever we get lodgings, I'm going to sleep on the roof, and I'm going to hold that crossbow up. And if there's a thieving guild coming after us, they're going to see the glint from the arrow, and then I'll know for sure if it's someone in the city coming after me or not. And there we go.
Seems super dangerous.
It's fine. I'll be fine.
Let's not do that plan.
I know it's been you and me for a while, Panabon, but maybe let's take some ideas for some of our new friends and let them have a turn.
I like this
All
idea, though.
right. That's where thieves go. They go to the roofs. That's why I go to the roof. That's how it works.
I thought they called it
It's
the
common
underground.
sense. That's a good place. Oh, people call all kinds of things. It's a rooftop. Don't be fancy.
All right. Before we get out, you say you got us some drinks. I'm trying to see what they drink for alcohol around here.
Hey,
Probably octopus alcohol.
they do bring drinks to the table. There's a it's a spirit. It's not an ale because Perunia did ask for something strong. It's got like a sort of like a green, like a green taste, right? Like so, like a succulent or like aloe, like if the way the aloe smells, maybe it's got a little bit of that as the taste, and then there's also like a very blank sweetness underneath, right? So it's the sweetness. It's not like it doesn't make you think of anything in particular. It's just like if someone had put white sugar into, tequila or something, and was serving that. Um,
Why does it sound like you're describing White Claw right now?
I don't know what that is, but if White Claw is tequila with sugar in it, then it's a White Claw.
Sounds tasty and cleansing. Cause green is good.
Yeah.
Well, in while we're waiting for our drinks and for Leah, um, I'll talk to I'll lean over to Perunia and say, Sh- "Is it safe to talk here, or shall we wait for our room?"
While I don't think it's problematic to talk here, I feel more comfortable waiting for our room.
Okay. And she like immediately buttons up.
While we're drinking our drinks, I'm gonna to go back up to the bartender and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
about the job you mentioned about the caravan, do you have the contact person's info?"
I have his number right here. No, uh,
You know where he works or works out of?
I not entirely certain. I believe um they mentioned that they were heading up to Giulati and that
Yeah.
and that you would probably I want to say something kale, which is wind, um, is 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 the lead on that. A caravan leaving in the next few days. That is the owners are the wind. I'm certain you'll be able to find them from that. They probably have a prep staging area in the caravan ward. Um, uh, should be easy enough to find.
Thank you. Oh, and about that fight the other day, did you say where exactly that's taking place? It's tomorrow, isn't it?
Yes, tomorrow night at the lodge, the Blue Joke Lodge, which the Blue Joke are the ethnicity of orcs in Vaishan. Um, and so they apparently have their own lodge in the city that they stay at.
Blue joke, huh?
Yes.
Well, if the caravan isn't leaving for a few days, maybe I'll catch a fight.
That's yeah. I don't know who is gonna be at that particular fight. If anyone of any prominence, but you've
Uh,
been there
Me,
before,
for sure.
uh, for sure.
Wonderful, as always. You know you're my favorite bartender.
You're my favorite dragonborn who wanders in here and orders drinks.
I put a couple extra coins on that table as well. I'm trying to solidify that he really does like me.
Yes. He slides those over, gives you a wink, and kind of turns to grab whatever the next person needs.
Can I do an investigation check on the drawing of the tattoo and see if I can remember anything else while I'm thinking about it?
You can. You always can. I'll let you know what I find, or what you find, rather.
Okay. No harm in trying again.
Yeah, it's looking at this, the main thing you get from this looking at it, is that Aegis is just not really a good artist.
Harsh.
I mean, it's a badly drawn snake.
Nothing about the writing underneath is the writing
There's
underneath.
not writing underneath. It's just literally like a lines like that.
Okay.
And that's the part that really is tugging at your memory.
Yes, that was what I was trying to roll for.
Yep.
Still wasn't enough. Bummer.
All right. Well, drinks are drunken.
Yeah.
Drank.
I've got
Drank.
mine.
Cheers, everybody. All right. Well, with that, let's
go find lodging.
So I think
what's happening next.
Rosalia and I have, we've gone to a couple of different bars and different places here. So I think we would have, another at least two options that we could probably think off of, and we would probably choose the one that's perhaps a little bit seedier than the other, just because maybe we'd attract less attention for being weird looking as a group. And so we'll suggest that one, which the name of would be
Luti Zamul, which is the Desert Bloom. It is it's in the south part of the city, which is yes, you definitely can move around the south part of the city, attracting. Yeah, it's double-edged sword, right? Like, you're probably not going to attract as much attention, but the attention you do attract will definitely be the wrong kind.
But it'll be attention.
That said,
gosh.
you know that you've attracted attention here.
You're like my dog, Panabon. Even negative attention is good attention.
Do not wear glittering eyebrows if you don't want people to see you. Ironically.
This is true. This
Yes.
is true. All right.
Hey, do I my background feature guild membership? As a physician, I know I'm not from here, but would there be any affiliate that might be able to help me find lodging?
Certainly. At this time of night, probably not. That you would be able to find in enough time for it to matter. But definitely during the day, you could probably ask somebody where the hospitalers are, something like that, and find someone professional to interact with or engage with.
Okay.
Still no?
Oh, we got you.
There you are.
Oh my god, halfway through the entire episode, Jesus.
No.
Well, you're a stoic
Alright.
elf. That's all.
Yep.
Yeah, really fucking stoic.
All right.
Mother Mary and all the saints. Anyways. I was gonna say, Perunia, we should take the seediest place we could find because I feel comfortable in seedy places. And I also want to jump on the nearest caravan because I'm getting tired of sitting around in this dull city because nothing's going on after that man died. We need more adventure. I'm bored.
I like
Exactly.
you.
And I got one for us lined up. So I explained to them the opportunity we have for a job at the caravan, and that you and I, Rosa, should go down to the staging area and find the wind that's about to set off shortly, and see if we can get hired on as a group.
Great. Let's do it.
Wait, I'm sorry. Would this job be like being a bodyguard for the caravan?
Well, we'll probably say you have other bookkeeping skills needed. I think that you can handle yourself in a fight. I haven't seen you fight yet, but I think we'll get you sold on.
I side
Maybe
eye
we'll get half price for you.
I side eye Panabon and grin and go, I can light shit up.
Ooh, tell them I can juggle. Tell them I can juggle. See if that will sweeten the pot.
That will definitely get us paid less about the juggling. Yeah.
That's what every caravan needs as they go into the desert. Is junkie room.
Entertainment as far as there are
Yeah.
no televisions. What do you want them to watch?
All right. So with that, you do head out of the Drunken Octopus. There are bridges. So there's a river that cuts through Merikodashta that empties into the sea there. And of course, the palace is along that river, but on the north side. There's several bridges that kind of cross at various locations, and the closest bridge, of course, is uh, near the mouth of the river. So really, all you have to do to get to the southern side is make your way south. You don't have to really go in either direction, and it's only maybe 20, 30 minutes to get down there. The rest of you that haven't been in Merikodashta or haven't been further around Merikodashta, there is definitely an almost instantaneous change in the atmosphere of the city. The northern part, everything seems clean. The buildings were everything's kind of sand colored, but the buildings that you were seeing were more like a cream sort of color, very clean. The streets were kept free of trash. You saw guards. Even at night, there's kind of every once in a while you'll see a guard. You cross the bridge. On the north side, the guards just they don't really pay any mind to anybody. But when you cross the other side of the bridge, the guards that are in the south, they appear very vigilant, like they're really trying to keep an eye on who is coming through or who's doing anything around. The buildings are more brown, just dirt stained. They're packed in much more closely together. Some of them look ramshackle and just sort of half made. Like someone just needed another room, so they just like scavenged some parts for walls and stacked it up on top of whatever. So there's where in the north there were like two-story buildings, Here there's like 4 or 5 layered buildings, but they're still only like 2 to 3 stories tall. And it smells of fish, like yesterday's fish, and it just it's like almost a different city. And as you kind of continue down, eventually you do arrive at Alutismul, which is the desert bloom, where the drunken octopus. It's just a little bit of it's almost ironic on the name. The drunken octopus was fairly quiet and peaceful. The desert bloom, however, is they're going. It's on in there. It's a party. There's a lot of people in there. You walk in, no one turns, no one looks, no one cares.
It's exactly what we
Standing
wanted.
room only. Yeah, and if you need a room, you'll probably have to speak to the bartender.
There's a strange just brightness in Aegis's eyes all of a sudden, just like a child at Christmas, like looking around at all the action in the area, but say nothing.
I'm trying not to get stepped on. That's my prerogative.
Yes.
Then I'm trying to like slowly move people out of the way for you.
Oh, you're my favorite.
Moving them right into the direction of me stealing their wallets. Thank you.
I give Pam a look like this is not the place to do that before I make my way up to the front, the bar to get some lodging for us.
Okay. Yeah. So as you approach, the bartender notices you kind of come up and slides a drink down and then walks up to you. And speaking in Ashani first.
Which I believe I have language skills for.
You do. Speaking in Ashani first is, yeah, what'll it be?
How many rooms you got open tonight?
3. Still.
We'll take them.
All right. That's gonna be a silver coin. If you have it, prefer the coin.
I I think that works. I slide
Yeah.
over the silver coin and say, and 5 strong drinks will do. Oh, make that 6.
Very well. Where are you sitting?
Wherever there's room. We're not picky.
Yeah, it's a good night here at the Bloom. Well, if you need anything, I'm Salo. Make yourselves at home. And with that, you kind of head back, and as he's talking to somebody else.
All right, have you guys come up? Have you guys found a table yet? No. All right. As we're standing getting jostled, I said, well, I managed to secure 3 rooms, so I'll bunk with Rosalia here. You guys can figure it out.
I think, yeah.
Panabon, maybe slate a hand check because we all know that's happening.
Wait, what?
Panabon!
I actually wait. Before people get mad at me, I have in my log, I have 1 success on a slippery wallet that I didn't use last time. So can I cash that check?
Well, right now the next roll is inspiration, courtesy of Banani 42 anyway. So you can make that with yeah.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna play with my deck of cards, but I guess if my history precedes me, I might as well. All right, so let's see.
Yeah, stop encouraging him.
All right. Well, that could have been better, but not bad for for who you are. So it's kind of like, why wouldn't I here? And you do figure out pretty quickly why you don't want to steal anyone's stuff here. And it's because they don't have anything. Like
Oh.
you go into like a pocket here, and this might be like a couple copper coins or some lint, or like this. You can see some of the high rollers, like some folks that you are pretty sure have some money, but maybe also look like they're not the right people to find their lost belongings. So yeah, you're successful, but you don't find anything
Sorry.
of value. Sorry.
Is it possible while I'm scoping out to see if I notice anyone with a snake tattoo just hanging out
Yes.
in the area?
Your choice of
Casually?
perception or investigation.
Oh my God, please tell me
We'll
you're
use
lifting up people's
investigation.
shirts, because that would be hilarious.
Oh my God, this 3'3" gnome just like, excuse me, do you have any tattoos?
So investigation is more about lifting shirts, and perception is about just seeing what you can see. Okay, give me another sleight of hand as well as you're doing this. There you go.
Oh, that's a sleight of hand.
Everybody in the inn now, their shirt is untucked. They don't know it, but they're all untucked. All the shirts are untucked.
I'm so happy.
Nice.
It's so much chaos. It's so good.
And you do notice that there is a fellow that there's 2 fellows actually that have this the snake tattoo, but without the line underneath.
Interesting. So I'm going to sneakily go over to Perunia and kind of just whisper in their general location. We both speak. Perunia, do you speak Draconic?
I do. Yes. I'm a dragonborn, so yeah.
Well, I don't want to assume that you speak it, but so in Draconic, I'm gonna say. Let's you have the top half of the snake tattoo. I've got the snake.
Snake tattoo.
Just FYI. Oh, that is. I said some hardcore.
Mm, Yeah,
Wow.
reply back and Draconic. Noted. We'll keep our eyes out on them. Is it the same tattoo or is it slightly different?
Not completely. It's only the snake. There's no lines underneath it, but it's not. It's a different snake than any other snake I've ever seen. So
Worth keeping an eye out.
yeah. Also, everyone's shirts are untucked. It's a party. Woo!
Shay takes a long drink.
Yeah, and as the night continues, here and there, and from time to time, someone notices their shirt is untucked, and they go, "Oh, and they tuck their shirt back in. You know, but
Is my
Panabon
shirt
knows.
untucked?
Totally
I don't
untucked.
know. It could be.
You
I
did
don't
say
think he's taking any
everyone in the
chances.
bar. So you have
They were
one
very
too?
clear.
Just in case Aegis is Aegis is one of them.
It's double agent or something.
Yes, double Aegis. Yeah, so drinks arrive. It's loud, it's raucous. Unless anyone is doing anything else in particular, um, you're partying until you want to talk to those guys, go to your room, run outside, quit screaming. Uh, it's your party.
I'll look at my
Shay.
watch. Oh, go for it.
Shay,
Oh yeah. What? What?
can
Hi.
you tell me? Can you tell me what Arturus is?
Where he is? Or
Who is he? I don't know this Arturus.
you want to come up to my room?
Wherever you feel safe.
Let's go up there. Everyone here is large.
And they're
Okay.
slobs. They have their shirts untucked.
Yeah. No politeness or manners whatsoever.
If you say so, let's go.
All right. I scurry up the stairs.
Yep. So up the stairs, there's only 4 rooms up there anyway. So if you wonder why no one wants to stay the night here, it becomes apparent when you open the door to the room. Um, it's it doesn't smell fresh. I mean, it's not like rancid, but it does have that smell of you've had your clothes in the hamper for a few days, like that sort of thing. And the beds are not beds; they're mattresses on the floor that may or may not have like something thrown over it, like a sheet or a blanket. And the doors lock. You think?
I miss home.
This is a smelly world. Where do you want to sit?
So
Because there's nowhere to sit. It's all filthy.
I'll sit on the floor, but I start to like I open my book and start to page through and whisper a couple things, and it kind of dissipates the smell a little bit. And you smell roses because I thought Rosalia might like roses.
I look at
does anyone else go up as well, or is it just these 2?
I'm gonna go to my room.
Yeah, I want to go
Okay.
to our room and sleep.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch those 2 guys that Panabon called out to me, so I'm gonna stay at the bar.
Panabon?
Oh,
Good
I'm actually going. Is there a roof to the building?
Oh God.
There is a roof. There's a roof to
I
the building.
Everybody left me unsupervised, which was a bad idea. And now I'm gonna prove why. I'm gonna, well, it's not supervision really. Anyways, I'm gonna go up to the roof and hide in a shadow and see if something happens.
Okay. All right. So Shay and Rosalia, the room smells like roses now.
You know magic.
I do.
What kind of a creature are you?
I'm a gnome.
You're a gnome.
You don't know gnomes? We're not
Well,
that common.
we have elves in my land, but I have never seen anyone as short as you or Panabon before.
I'm sorry. Elves?
Elves, yes. The ear? You see my ears?
Oh! And she like gets up and like kind of tumbles backwards over the bed and you'll
Why do you scream?
I- I-
I'm
You're,
an elf. I just do magic like you do.
but
I'm just
that's not
taller and scarier.
that's not normal.
Well, your friend isn't normal either, but it looks like it's made of magic.
Yeah, but
It
he's
looks like
not
we do the
normal
same
in a
things.
different way, like a special way, and you're in like the make believe way that parents tell their kids to be good so that they don't, you know, act out.
Is that what this Arcturus is then? Is he magic?
Well, yes, I believe so, but not in the same way. Or, all right, I want to come back to the elf conversation, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to kill me tonight. So, well, let's focus on the guy who is. So I'm from Ireland, and I was studying magic there because I found out one day I just had these abilities, and so we've been trying to translate that and work on it and study it and research it, and I've invented a ton of spells, and it's really exciting. But the point was one day I went to school and there was this big scary guy that yelled at me, and that was Arturus, and I saw him come out of the basement, so I went to see what he was doing. I found a secret room which was so cool, except for it wasn't cool when I went in and there was this dead body all splayed out on this circle, and it was definitely like dead magic. Like what would you
Oh,
call that? Like dead domancy or something. I haven't gotten a good name for it yet, but it was terrifying. And so me and my professor were keeping an eye on him because he's doing bad things, and so we followed him to Flanopafel, and were we found out that he was meeting with the high priest there, and so we followed him, and then Panabon started stabbing people, and I didn't expect that, so then I got arrested because Panabon was awful. And then it turned out that the high priest knows Arturus too, and he's into dead people and magic. And so I went to jail, and Panabon tried to get me out, but then I lit him on fire, and then Arturus came and said, "No worries, everything's good here," and let me out of jail. And then this thing attacked us at the hotel, and the thing detached its hands, and its hands were and then I couldn't even scream, and there was no one there, but Panabon had followed me, and so he was fighting downstairs, and this thing with no hands had this tongue that was like, and it was like chasing him, and it was awful. We jumped out the window and ran, and we left Lenopafel, and then we've been running since then, and it's been several months, and they're still following us, and they know we're here, so we need to leave now, and it's really bad.
oh, you're being followed
Yes.
by Arcturus or
He's,
something of that nature
his minions or something.
because you
Dead
saw him
things.
kill a man. You saw him use dead magic.
Well, I don't know if he killed him or was already dead, but it was like all splayed out, and there was blood, and there was these dead men thing that were chasing. Like they moved really slowly and like, but they like came at me as I was in the basement, and I managed to slip past them and run away. But they were like alive, but also dead.
Oh, you two are on the run.
Yes.
Well, it seems like no matter where we go, we'll have something to fight. So, a good thing you picked our group of people. Maybe we can keep you safe. I don't know about this Arcturus guy, but I have a feeling we'll catch up with him eventually.
Did he do anything strange on the boat with you and your friend?
No,
Was he kind of a bully then? Because he was kind of mean.
no.
Oh. So you're an elf.
Yes,
Can can we talk about magic?
yes, we can.
All
What,
right.
what is that? What is this thing that you're wearing on your eye?
Oh, this helps me read. So I can still talk with you and everything, but when I'm looking at my spell book, it helps me just hone in, and sometimes it lights up. So if I need to see in the dark, it can go, whoosh, and then I can see things. Want to see? And I touch it, and it turns on. Whoosh.
I have that too. It's called
My dark vision.
I mean, I have dark vision too. I can see, just like this, but in the dark. But if I want to see something lit up, or I have friends that can't see in the dark, I can turn it on and it's great.
So I think if we ever encounter magic, you and I should team up because Perunia is great for fighting, wonderful for fighting, but she doesn't have this magic. And I think you understand it and I understand it as well. So we'll put Perunia in the front and she can do the fighting. But you and I think we should do the magic, anything involving magic.
I love it. Let's do it. Oh my, I want to show you everything. I want to talk about so much. I've been learning so much. Oh, Minya. So this is Minya. It means little fighter. He's a creature, I think, from another world. Maybe it's from your world. I have a picture of him, and she like opens up, and it looks kind of like a sugar glider, but like purple with horns and stuff. But Minya was hurt and almost died, but I saved her. But in order to save her, I couldn't save her body, just her spirit. So we put her spirit in here, and so now she's with me.
To keep track of your friend Panabon as well.
She does that a lot. Yes, yes.
What do you think he's doing now?
Oh, I hope the others are watching him. Because if not, he's either stealing something or killing something.
I don't think anyone's watching him. I think that the other two, Raja and Aegis, went to their rooms, and I think that Farunia is downstairs.
Minya, go
watching.
find him. Go find them, and she'll release it, and Minya will go roll away. But she's like, I'm so tired. It has been months where I've had to babysit someone older than me that can't control impulses. I learned a new spell just to stop him from his shenanigans.
How about you try it out right now and let's see what happens?
Yeah, let's go find him, and if he's being troublesome, I'll show you what it does.
Where do you think he'd be right now? Somewhere low or somewhere high?
He does like rooftops, but he also
Let's
likes
go.
stealing from people, and there's a lots of people downstairs.
Let's go to the roof.
All right. You're really an elf?
Yes.
Elves are real.
All right. So as you're heading toward the roof to see what is going on with Panabon, we will back a little bit to where Panabon arrives on the roof.
So
It's a roof. There are higher levels of roof on the buildings next to you, and there's lower levels, and there's railings. There's actually chairs in some places. It just seems like, I mean, it was really easy to get up here. You don't actually have to climb. It's like there's a way to get up. There's always, and it's not stepped. It's not like planned. It's just there's so much like junk in the way that they've kind of set this all up that you can just kind of move around from place to place. Just it's like a shanty town, you know. There's crates everywhere and various just junk strewn about to where movement. It's not easy all the time, but you know you could probably get from here all the way to the bridge without ever leaving the roof.
interesting. Oh, it's too bad we're not going to stay. I kind of like the idea of being able to vault roof to roof, but yeah, that's life. So I'm going to move a couple of crates, so it looks like I'm making myself a seat. And while I am kind of waiting to see if anything happens, because anything could happen, I want to give that note another try to see if I can remember what those little hashtags under the snake mean. It's really bugging me.
Okay,
I don't know.
So what you're going to do in this case, I will allow a intelligence saving throw. We're going to call that. So just to see if something jogs up in your memory somehow. So, and I'm going to set that DC at 14. And I believe that all the players do have an advantage on their next roll. So if you want to take that advantage now, you do, because it's the next roll.
All right. So advantage and an intelligence saving throw?
Intelligence saving throw with advantage, yes.
Hey.
There we go.
Nice.
Maybe.
It's that
Hopefully.
thing, right? It's that thing where like you forgot the word, you forgot the thing. It's just bugging you and bugging you, and you just, and you're just like you can't. You're just worrying at it like a dog with a bone, and then finally just like I don't know. But then as soon as you're like you don't care about it, you go off, you're starting to do something else, and it just hits you. Usually right when you don't need it anymore, but in this case, it's different. So as you're moving the crates and kind of setting up a little spot for yourself to sit, all of a sudden you're like, ah, I've seen it before. You've seen it in the guild up in Flanupafel, um, that they that they so there's guilds basically have some sort of way of marking themselves, and Flanupafel is no different. There are tattoos that show who is in kind of what guild or what group, what crew they run with. And in the one that you're remember that there was someone who had and you wondered why it was different. Everyone has the tattoo, but like this one individual had these two, and it was two of them. It's the same line, just kind of goes like that. And but this one was like two stacked, and that's where you've seen it. Not one, but the two.
And it was just the one person
It was just the
in
one
the guild
person,
that I
and
saw this?
yes, and it wasn't one of the people that just normally did like regular thieving gigs. Um, you're pretty sure that they had some other function um, within the guild, but it wasn't really that important to you, so you didn't pay too much mind. But you do remember where you seen that little squiggly line.
Which is great. That's at least a step. Not that I'm so eager to be back in Apafel, but at least I don't have to be bugged with that anymore. Now I can actually pay attention, which is nice. And have a nice, solitary, long think/looking out where no one's going to come up onto the roof and be in my hair, and I can just be Panabon and just maybe stab things if there are things to stab.
Yes. Just as you're thinking about that, you hear a clatter of like a steel panel like falling and clattering on other steel roof panels, and a high pitched semi curse uh, that leads you to believe that Shay is on her way up for reasons. Um, and as you look over, sure enough, both Rosalia and Shay have reached the rooftop, uh, and you have found Panabon.
Hey,
So
what are you
Hi
doing?
there.
I was enjoying the lovely scenic view of the city.
I'm so proud of you. That's an appropriate hobby. Remember when we talked about appropriate hobbies and not appropriate hobbies? This is absolutely a good
Yeah.
one. I'm so proud of you, Panabon.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I have some good news and some bad news to share that you may or may not want to hear. I remembered a little bit about the tattoo while I was having myself a nice little think about life. And I may or may not have seen something like it in the Flanapafel.
So it is either Arturus or the High Priest.
Not necessarily. I don't know enough about it to know if that's accurate. If that's accurate at all. I do know that what I saw was a little different. But they definitely are. They are too similar to not be aligned somehow, and I have no idea how that is. But just know that there was a person in Flanapafel in a guild of a certain persuasion that had a very similar tattoo to this.
What type of guild?
Just a guild that normal people are a part of, and where it's not about stabbing. It's that kind of guild, like mahjong. It's like a mahjong guild, I guess you could say. where we play mahjong and there's absolutely no stabbing or thieving. Just just mahjong. Lots of that.
So an ordinary guild, nothing out of the usual. Just boring.
Nothing. Just boring. Just nothing fun happens. No stabbing at all.
I
No
hope
feats of strength or acrobatics or anything.
I hope you're right, because I'd hate for us to get hurt because we didn't know everything we need to.
Oh well, we'll be fine. No one's gonna hurt us. Have you seen the other people in the group? I mean, look at Rosalia. Rosalia is very tall.
She is. She's an
You're
elf,
like,
Panabon.
what's that?
Remember, like the old stories of millennia ago, but like nobody believes it. They have the pointy ears and can do magic. And they all died out.
Oh, more magic.
All the magic. Magic is fascinating.
I mean, yeah, but magic is the reason that people have long tongues and no hands. So you can see where magic is not maybe my favorite thing in the world. Also, it keeps me from stabbing people when you don't want me to stab them. So you can kind of see how magic bums me out a little bit sometimes.
Well, if you could listen with your ears, active listening, we talked about that as well. And when I ask you not to do something, if you just didn't do it, I wouldn't have to stop you from committing murder.
Some people need to be murdered just a little bit. I mean,
Not
it's fine.
literally everyone you meet, friend. It's
I
a
haven't.
bad habit. We're working on it. I'm proud of you for coming up here and not killing people from up here. I
Yeah,
think
As
that's
if on
right.
I
cue,
didn't stab Peru. Yeah, it's
as
fine,
if
yeah.
on cue, the sound of someone being killed suddenly echoes through the night as there is a high-pitched scream um, that is cut off suddenly, and then a few more screams kind of from the same area, which is it's, there. You want to say a block, but here they're not blocks. It's just so haphazard. Maybe what would be like half a block away,
That was
something has happened.
that was close.
It's true. And I did not stab anyone. That was
Yes, I
not
know that
me.
wasn't you, but that's too close for
And they
comfort.
probably missed the diaphragm on the first strike. So they probably got the diaphragm on the second strike. I'm gonna give that a 6. I'm gonna give that a 6 out
I
of
mean,
10.
the follow-up screams do have different pitches, so also maybe they got the diaphragm on the first hit, and then other people noticed.
Mm.
I'm gonna go investigate.
Okay, I'm gonna give him a 4 on that one, a 4 out of
All
10.
right.
You probably want to go back downstairs instead of investigating, don't you? Probably not a good idea to be on the roof.
Rosalia, are we safe here?
You two probably not, but I think I can look
I was
into it.
I like you a little less
I was
now, just to let you
looking for
know.
comfort there, and instead I got honesty.
Just honesty.
I also appreciate that. Maybe we should
Well,
find the others.
yes, go downstairs and find the others. You're safer in there than you are out here.
All right. It's easy. Like you don't even have to go down the stairs if you want to get to the floor. You only have to go down the stairs if you want to get to the second level inside the building. Though you could not use the stairs down. You could go to the ground and then go anyway. So Rosalia Panavon, are you heading out to the street as well with Rosalia, or are you going back with Shay?
Is Shay gonna let me go with Rosalia, or is Shay going to drag me by my gnomish ears into safety? I guess is the
There are
question.
people here that are what Shay feels more adult than she is. Therefore, like she relinquishes babysitting duties. That's why she didn't feel bad about leaving before, because she thought someone else was going to pick up the slack. So
Anyway, yeah. So
Damn, I want to stab him.
all right. So by the time that Rosalia and Panabon reach the ground, Shay is on the second level, past the doors. So there's one of these rooms may have Aegis and locks in it, or not. You're not too sure who came up already or who might still be downstairs.
she'll kind of stand in the middle of the hallway, not knowing where they might be, and go, Lux, Aegis, Perunia.
What time is it?
It's been half an hour.
I mean, like, if I looked at my clock, what time would it be?
If you looked at your timepiece, it would probably be around between 10 and 10:30.
I'm asleep.
Start stirring. I heard the yelling, try to ignore it, and then in the hallway there's like someone saying our names, and I'm like, oh, I just want to sleep.
Well, after
You go.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I go to the door to look out. Hello.
Well, Lux, I think people are dying in the streets. It's only like a
Was
short ways
Panabon
away.
doing something?
No, it wasn't Panabon. They were with me and Rosalia. I think they went to go investigate, but I'm worried that something's
Right.
coming for us.
All right, let me get up Aegis. And I go in my pack, grab some water, and throw it on him. Get up. We're not done for the night, it seems.
Was that necessary?
Yes, it's the only thing that works.
All right, so Perunia doesn't answer any of the doors, so you're headed downstairs, I imagine, and you'll see Perunia down there. However, in the time that happened, it's not far. There's people that are kind of standing around. They're all talking to each other. And as you come around Panabon and Rosalia, you see there is a body on the ground. No one is approaching it. The few people that are looking, they're whispering. Everyone seems a little confused. Most of the people that are here seem more confused than they are frightened.
We can either do investigation or perception just to get a sense of what's going on.
Sure. So perception is when you're just kind of it's passive, like you're seeing what there is. Investigation is when you're actively like trying to find something and getting into it.
So I'll do investigation because I want to know what's going on, who killed who, or if anybody has any ideas about what happened in the situation.
Okay. And while she's rolling that, Panabon?
Can I do, if I use like stealth for active listening, like just to move about the crowd a little bit, hear reaction while keeping an eye on the body, would that be stealth maybe?
Sure. You can do a stealth to kind of be unnoticed as you then do a perception to hear what you hear.
I love stealth. I am not stealthy today.
13's not bad.
Yeah. Let's see how I'm doing. No, perception is just the worst.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Can I see at a distance what the cause of death is?
You're not there yet. You're heading
really?
down the stairs. Yeah.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Panabon
Well,
and Rosalia
preemptive.
are down. All right.
Thank you for the help, but no.
As they're going down the stairs to join, though, I was like, I woke you up to keep me safe and that not go. All right.
I look back at her and look, the best, safest places for all of us to be together. This may be your first time traveling with a group. I used to ride with friends. Just come on.
Okay.
Right.
So Rosalia, if we can get that investigation test from you, with advantage, by the way. Also, Panabon, you can re-roll one of those because you also have advantage from Voodoo Goth 11 has given everyone inspiration.
Thank you,
I think I just rolled, but I don't know if it went through.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it on my end. Wait, oh, nope, there's Panabon's.
Oh, that's my enhanced perception.
Okay, so
You're so good. So good at investigating. So good.
Yeah. So approaching the body, the first thing you can tell is that the skin is really ashen and gray. that there is that there's like a stab wound on the neck, but no blood that you can see. And it doesn't look like it looks like it just kind of fell to the ground, like not like someone knocked it over or pushed them, or it just like they're just kind of like, it crumpled to the ground. So it is rather strange. As you're looking at this, people around are kind of whispering and pointing at you now. Panabon, they're whispering, "Oh my gosh, someone is killed." That's about what you get.
I'm just going to keep kind of circling the crowd because I'm very distinctive, and it doesn't make sense for two distinctive people to be noticed. So just continuing to mill about the edge of the crowd. Maybe I've got a hood pulled up a little bit just to not draw. I don't want people to notice me when I don't want people to notice me. Yeah, so just looking along the edge, waiting to see. I guess I could try perception to see if I could like look up a little bit, maybe to see if there's anybody on the roof.
Sure, go ahead and do that.
why not?
While you're doing that, like I said, y'all see Perunia over kind of closer maybe to the bar as you're coming down the stairs.
Thought you guys went to bed.
I thought we did too. Apparently,
We did.
We were getting ready to go to bed until more murder happened.
Well, we are on the south side of town, so
It was like a half a block from here, and Panabon and Roselia went to investigate.
So they already went to investigate. I mean, this kind of thing happens in shader areas. It's not uncommon, you know.
I agree.
know-
Let the god take care of it.
Panamon and
We're being haunted.
yeah.
But you are not dead. You're standing in front of us.
But we're trying to stop the dying. At least I hope.
I don't think we're trying to stop everyone's dying.
Let's just go
Some people
outside,
can
you
die.
guys. We're
Well,
People
since
die.
Panamon and Rosalia are already out there, I mean, I guess we have to. I like roll my eyes at Aegis, like, oh my god, I hate that they're dragging us out there.
Our team's real good at social skills. That's just...
Yes. All right. So heading out. Like again, it's not very far. Like other people who have left since the tavern, because it's loud in there, have noticed the gathering, so maybe gone over there too. There's a crowd is starting to gather of just curious onlookers. Like no one seems really upset about what happened from your vantage point coming out of the bar. Closer in, there are like two people that look pretty shaken as far as Rosalia is kind of concerned, looking around, and Panabon as well. But most of the other people just seem to, maybe they didn't actually witness what happened, but they came upon the scene after. And yeah, it's a weird, the disposition of the body is strange. And that's about what Rosalia gets, except I would like you to make a history check.
Okay. History. This is the first time.
And you can also make that with so roll it again, because you can make that with advantage since everyone got 2 of them. Oh well.
it was slightly better.
It's not meant to be. All right, so yeah, just kind of looking. So after looking at the corpse, is there anything that you want to do?
I want to go over to the two people that look shaken and ask them what they saw.
Okay. So you approach them. Let me check something really quick for you. Okay. All right. As you approach, there's like one fella kind of giving comfort to a woman. Like holding his arms on his hands on her shoulders and trying to like it's okay, it's okay. Um, and as you approach, he looks up at you and he kind of stops. But he doesn't stand up or anything. He's like, "What?"
What happened?
She says that um, a woman was killed.
Did she know the woman?
No, I don't think so. The strange thing about that statement, Rosalia, though, is because you just investigated the body, and it was not a woman. That's definitely a man. Um, it's a man. Um, yeah,
So if there was a woman that was killed, why is that man lying there? And
I
where
I
did
don't
she?
I don't understand. She said that the man is the I don't know. It doesn't make sense. And then she kind of looks up and her eyes are wide. And it's not that she's frightened so much or like not frightened, but like uh broken up about the death itself. It's like she saw something um that just really put fear deep into her. Uh the man killed the woman and then he fell over and the woman got up and walked away. It's like
So the man killed the woman.
the man killed the woman and 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 then she got up and he and she walked away and now the man is there.
What? This sounds like magic.
Damn magic, ever since magic's happened.
Is this an occurrence in your town? Has this happened before? Is this the first time you've seen it?
No, nobody's ever seen anything like that, says the other guy. um People die, there's arguments, disagreements, but something like this, I've never heard of anything. I didn't see it happen though. So maybe something else is going on. And she's like, no, no, I saw it with my eyes. There was nothing. She was just walking, and he came out from the corner and just attacked her viciously.
And he fell over. That's him now, and she got up and walked away.
Yes, yes.
How
Is
far
it
away is Perunia?
You see them
I'm
kind of walking down from the front of the bar at this point.
Okay. I want to go back up to Perunia and ask her if she sees any of the local guard or anything like that, like if they're coming. I don't
I
know.
look around to see if I can see that.
You don't, and you don't expect to see it actually.
Because I'm on the south side of the city, you see, and Panabon, those guards, they are paid not to come over here. Let's put it that way. Either that or they're too
Okay,
scared for their
so
lives. One of the two.
we need to get this crowd away. Is there somebody that they would expect would come? Like something that I could disguise myself to look like potentially?
I mean,
Like something that could shoo them away?
there are local folks that tend to take bodies and throw them in the, local body disposal area, which for this is kind of like a open graveyard. It's not, it's unmarked grave. Yeah, so also they probably wouldn't care down here if we just took the body with us.
And let's go grab the body. We need to get it away from the crowd. Some weird just happened.
Yeah,
So,
okay. So
yeah.
I just go up and pick it up and throw it over my shoulder and walk off.
Okay.
Oh, right. There we go. Party.
So So you bustle through the crowd.
With a lot of authority, like I'm
Right.
supposed to be doing this.
So I'm adding to my notes right now. Open body graveyard. Because there is apparently an open body graveyard in Merkudashta in the south side of the town.
I was going to disguise myself, but this is going to get the same result, so I'm happy. This is
So
exactly what I want.
we're world building, folks. All right. So yes, you must, and strangely, the people around kind of they give you this strange sort of deference as you kind of move through. That's actually a little unexpected. You do see Rosalia across from on the other side of the body talking to somebody over there, and the body on the ground is it doesn't look fresh. Looks like maybe someone that's been dead for more than half an hour. You're no doctor. But as you pick the body up, the crowd is like, and there's a lot of
Motion. It's
pseudo
okay, folks.
clicking.
Taking care of it. No worries.
And of course, this is right behind Rosalia at this point. Who? What? Are you
Local
taking?
burial team, to be buried because he's dead.
You heard the lady. There's nothing else to see here. We've got this. You can go back to your homes now.
Guild business. Guild business.
I'm so happy.
So people are kind of leaving. They're still whispering, but a lot of people are still. They only move back like 2 or 3 steps, but then they stay. Your witnesses, the other person that looked shocked, they corroborate it. They're like, yeah, they and she ran down the street that way, and but it was strange. Like she ran like some sort of beast, maybe that was learning to run on 2 legs.
I look at
tell somebody to get a description of that person.
I look at Panabon and like we've seen terrifying creatures before now, so
All right. Well, that's exciting. I convey frightened excitement in my eyes to Shay, and yeah, I just if anything is going to happen, it needs to happen with the crowd not here. So we need to be not here with this body. We need to at least go around the corner where people will not follow.
Oh, Prunia's taking
Somewhere.
the guy to the graveyard. Like, I know where it's at.
Yeah, Perunia's
Okay.
like starting to walk with the body, and as this is happening,
Yeah. At some point between now and the graveyard, we should stop and actually look at the body before it's in the graveyard.
You'll need to tell Prunia that.
Yes.
So
I just need yes.
before, so as Panabon is thinking this and considering to tell Perunia this, there is a voice that kind of cuts through the darkness, and the language is Dragonborn. So those who don't speak Dragonborn don't understand, but it's basically Dragonborn, stop.
I turn. I do not stop.
There are 2 Dragonborn.
Stealthily moving away.
No, they're not stealthy. They're walking. They're striding, or you might be stealthily kind of moving around.
Oh,
They
I'm
are
stealthily
striding.
disappearing into the crowd.
They are striding very openly, very here we the hell are. And Dragonborn aren't unusual throughout the world. But what you didn't kind of expect to see right now, Perunia, is the sigil of the Golden Inquisition.
Not my favorite people.
No. And as they approach very determinedly, one of them is a the one that has the more ostentatious sort of armor is a like a, you want to say it's a black dragonborn, which is strange for a for the Golden Inquisition for reasons. And then behind is a more loosely armored um, copper bronze dragonborn, maybe. And as they kind of get up to you, um, the black dragonborn looks at the body that you're carrying.
May I help you?
Yes. Name and family, please.
Hmm. I don't think that we are in the city where I need to tell you that anymore.
I see. You see him make a mental note, of that, and the body. What is your plan with that?
To take it to the graveyard. That's what you do with bodies, no?
Hmm.
Would you like
In front
to?
of people in a different language is very rude.
I hear Aegis, and I switch to the common tongue.
Interfering in other people's business is also very rude.
I'm pretty sure we are respectfully taking this body where it should be processed. Is that
I
illegal?
mean, the business between you and I,
Oh, we have business. Oh,
perhaps. So now Aegis is here. There is a body. That body has been dead though for like days. Like there's no smell coming off. It's like not that like the rent. There's it's not a fresh death, and there's not really a stench coming off of it that indicates that it's been like in the last day or two. There is that sort of dry, sort of rot smell coming off of it that indicates that it's been dead in a dry, warm climate for some time. Um, and yeah, so someone just dropped a 2 weeks old corpse in the middle of the street, is what you deduce because you don't know what happened. Um, and so with that, we are going to pause and stop our session for tonight. It is the end.
Both.
On the streets of southern Mercodashta, with two Golden Inquisitors questioning Perunia, who's a wanted criminal, apparently back at home. I don't know. Someone in chat said it. Uh,
I
and
mean, I may be wanted. I never stayed to find out.
yes, and a strange body, and a strange occurrence. So with that, I thank you very much for joining me, players. Um, that was really enjoyable to see all of you in action. Thank you very much to our audience at Twitch that is watching us live. Thanks for the inspiration that's been given. Remember, everybody except Panabon now has 2 inspirations.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and just see. Oh, yep, and Tom, our tech, who not only is making sure that everything's running smoothly, but also is making sure when things are coming up in fantasy grounds that that's popping up so you can see it as well. Yeah, really, thanks. Does anyone have any announcements or anything they want to say before we sign out?
Please join our mailing list. Tom's going to drop in a link again. Really important to get all the information on our upcoming Kickstarter that is for a graphic series that takes place in this world, and a lot of really great content that's coming with it. So again, also don't feel shy. Join our Patreon for as low as $2. We have a ton of content on there, including the preludes for Like Clockwork with each of these cast members, and sometimes individually, sometimes in pairs or threes, so you can get to know some of these stories that we refer to that have happened, like what Shay and Rosalia talked about today. So please check those out. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/remalternus.
All right. So yeah, thanks a lot for joining us. And Sunday nights, 7 p.m. CST. That's 5 p.m. on the West Coast and 8 p.m. on the East Coast. We'll be here again every week for eternity. Thank you for joining
Ever.
us, and we will see you next week.
Bye.